When you think of professional lighting that's actually attainable to filmmakers like myself who work on small sets, or creators who are doing the exact kind of thing that I'm doing right now, when you think of these people and the kind of professional lights that they use, you probably think of Aperture, Amaran, maybe Nanlite, maybe GVM, but the brand NEEWER doesn't necessarily come to mind. However, they did send me their HB80C, which is a full color light, and I believe it is the smallest light currently on the market that accepts a full-size Bowens mount. So no mini Bowens mount or weird proprietary mount that you need an adapter for, but is an 80-watt light going to be powerful enough for a creator or a small film set type person like I described? Well, you tell me. I'm using the HB80C right now as my key light with quite a large octabox modified onto it, because this is just usually what I use as my key light for my YouTube videos. I swapped out my 500-watt light that I usually use, threw in the HB80C. It's at about 55% right now. I'm filming on my XH2S at base ISO of 640 and f-log1. Not only does it have the full-size Bowens mount, that's the really exciting part, so you can use it and modify a whole number of things on it, but more than likely for an 80-watt light and a smaller light like this, people like to use them as a little pop of color in the background, or a hair light like I'm using with this light over here. So that's exactly the kind of thing that this is going to fill in for, and I have actually used the HB80C on plenty of real-world shoots in the past month or so that I've had it. I've tried to use it as many times on set as I can, and I'll put those on screen. So I swapped out the key light and brought the HB80C down, and here it is. This is all the bigger it is. It's just big enough to accommodate a Bowens mount with a little bit on the side. Just a perfect square right there. And it comes with some accessories. It comes with an adapter to put it on a stand. So here it is with the light stand adapter. You just screw it on there. I like that it does come with an umbrella mount. That is a nice touch. Sometimes they don't. And it's really easy just to pop that onto a stand like so. It also comes with a little tripod. I don't love the tripod it comes with. It allows it to go to a couple different stages. You can put it down really low, which is nice, but the one thing I don't like about the tripod is that it doesn't have a ball head on it, so you can't articulate where the light's looking. You can't make it look up or down. It only allows it to look straight ahead, so that's a little bit limiting. One of the great features about this is it runs on its own internal battery, and it's quite an impressive internal battery. There is a USB-C in right here, and if you want to access that full 80-watt output from this light, unfortunately, you need to be putting power into the USB-C port from a 100-watt power source. If you don't plug anything into this on the high fan mode, you get 65 watts. On the low fan mode, you only get 45 watts. The fans is so quiet in this, I would never notice. I would just keep it on the high fan setting, let it be 65 watts. I literally don't hear the fan at all. I have it at 100% power. Oh, it was on 45 watts there. Let me just put this right up to the microphone for you to hear the fan. I broke out my light meter and took some measurements from the NEEWER HB80C at the various wattage settings. At 45 watts, it came in at about 8,000 lux. At 65 watts, it came in at about 9,800 lux. And unfortunately, I couldn't get it to go into the 80-watt setting even when using a 100-watt power delivery USB-C cord and a 100-watt MacBook charging block. But they claim it comes in at 10,400 lux at 80 watts, which is pretty much on track with the other measurements, so I pretty much believe them. And all of these measurements were taken at 5600 Kelvin with the included reflector at 1 meter. You just flip the power switch on the side to turn it on and wait, 2-3 seconds before it pops up. And you only have a couple buttons back here, and they're very self-explanatory. The menu button takes you to the menu. The mode button will take you through your different modes like CCT mode. You get intensity, you click in the scroll wheel, you can change your color temperature, and it just gives you the first two numbers. So like 3200 and then 5600, etc., etc. This wheel is not linear or whatever it's called. So it will go and you feel it click, it will go exactly one increment. It doesn't go through the settings that you're scrolling through faster. If you scroll the wheel faster, it's still going to go one by one. And there's actually, because this is a full color light, there's a green magenta shift. So if you want to color match with another light that has a green tint to it, you can do that with this light. So that is just the regular CCT mode. You hit mode, and then you have the regular color mode here. So you have intensity, hue, and saturation. There's 360 different hue values because it's like a circle, 360. So in order to go through through that, it can take quite a while because of the non-linear response. Hit mode once again. This is going to be your special preset modes. You have lightning, you have, oh, here's a music mode. You can see that as I talk, or if there was music happening, it would go to the music. You could do like a party scene or something with this. It's kind of gimmicky, but for some reason, every light recently I've reviewed has a music mode. You're gonna have your standard. You're gonna have flickering flames and light bulbs and pulsing, I guess, fire alarms, police. Yeah, it's gonna have all the standard paparazzi as well. Any moment, there we go. Those are those modes. So this is a great setting here. It just matches different light sources. So it just shows you a picture. So this shows a light bulb and it just says the color temperature of it. So this is a light bulb at 2700, and then it'll just show you different kinds of light sources, different pictures, and then the rough sort of color temperature that might be. This is supposed to be a sunrise, and it's all the way down at 1800 Kelvin, so quite warm. And this is actually an even warmer value than it allows you in the regular CCT mode. And then this is great. So if you have Lee filters or Roscoe filters, this is just a wheel that matches various Lee and Roscoe filters, and it names the exact filter. So Lee 724, that's what this one is, or Lee number 2. If you want to, match very specific filters, if someone's familiar with those as a look, they can just shout that out and you have a bunch to match here. And then this is the most confusing way to pick a specific color, in my opinion. It is the XY value. So you go in very, very, very fine increments. You can select XY and change to dial in a color. I don't know exactly what this would be used for. And then here is a mode that just shows you, this is an RGB WW. So you can individually dial in those different LEDs to come to a color that way. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, leave a comment down below. What do you think of Neewer as a brand as a whole, first of all? And also if you use this light specifically or another similar light on the market, 100 watts or less with ideally a Bowens mount, what do you use these for? Is it a hair light? Is it an accent light? I'm guessing that's what it's going to be, but I'd love to hear your stories and maybe I could learn something from you guys. What are your thoughts on this kind of light out there? Is this professional, or would you just opt to get, 200-300 watt light and do the same thing with it? Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one, guys. Peace.